What happens when greatness can't control itself? When the same fire that makes someone a legend also burns everything around them? Subscribe and like the video, because today we're diving deep into the wildest moments where Michael Jordan completely lost control. It's hard to imagine the calm, iconic face of MJ cracking, but behind that smooth fadeaway and the championships, there were countless times when his emotions took over. Like when a 19-year-old Jordan nearly went toe-to-toe with Xavier McDaniel. Both benches cleared, and what started as just trash talk turned into a full-blown standoff. The crowd froze as Jordan's eyes locked on McDaniel's, not the expression of an athlete, but of a man who refused to be disrespected. Years later, even after retirement, Jordan's temper didn't fade. At number 18, he publicly snapped on Malik Monk, one of his own players, calling him out mid-game for stepping onto the floor at the wrong time. Cameras caught it all, the smirk gone, replaced by the voice of a perfectionist who couldn't tolerate mistakes. For MJ, discipline was sacred. But sometimes, Jordan's fury turned inward. At number 17, Dennis Rodman was losing it on the court, ready to erupt, and it took both Jordan and Pippen to restrain him. Jordan's command was clear, not as a teammate, but as the general of chaos, making sure his team didn't explode before the final buzzer. Yet, just moments later, at number 16, MJ himself nearly tore Reggie Miller apart in a mid-game brawl. The man who defined grace on the court suddenly became unrecognizable, jaw clenched, fists flying, surrounded by referees struggling to contain him. Jordan's competitive nature didn't just come alive against opponents. Sometimes it turned against his own people. When Steve Kerr dared to challenge him during a scrimmage, Jordan lost it. After a few fouls and some trash talk, he swung. One punch, and Kerr went down. Later, they made peace, but only after Kerr's eye told the story of what it meant to survive MJ's intensity. His temper was unpredictable, but his pride, that was constant. During a game against Memphis, when a player named Derek Martin had the nerve to talk trash, Jordan didn't just respond, he destroyed. After hearing, "This is my town," Jordan checked back into the game and dropped 19 points in 6 minutes, ending it with a fadeaway and the coldest line imaginable. "Shut up, you little punk." For Jordan, revenge wasn't about winning. It was about humiliation. And then came the night of the flu game, or the food poisoning game, as he later revealed. Barely able to stand, drenched in sweat, and gasping for air, Jordan still dropped 38 points against the Utah Jazz. Every step looked painful, but quitting was never an option. When the final buzzer rang, he collapsed into Pippen's arms, a moment that proved his mind was stronger than his body. But the pain that lived off the court was even deeper. When his father was murdered in 1993, Jordan shattered. The man who had always been by his side, every trophy, every victory, was gone. And just like that, MJ retired, saying he had lost his motivation to keep playing. He wasn't chasing rings anymore. He was trying to find peace. But peace didn't come easily. When he returned, he tried to channel his grief into control, but life kept testing him. His gambling habits became a national scandal. Late-night trips to Atlantic City during the playoffs turned him into a villain in the eyes of the media. Accusations of addiction spread fast, but Jordan stood his ground. "I'm not broke. I'm not hiding. I paid my debts. I'm human." That was his defense, but his image would never fully recover. Even when it came to love, his control slipped. His marriage to Juanita Vanoy, the woman who stood by him since his early days, ended in disaster. The divorce cost him $168 million, one of the largest settlements in history. For most people, that would have been financial ruin. For MJ, it was just another loss in a life full of victories and regrets. Still, There was one moment that stripped away all anger, ego, and rivalry. The 1996 Finals. After years of pain and rebuilding, Jordan led the Bulls to another championship. But it wasn't about winning anymore. That game fell on Father's Day. And when the buzzer sounded, the man who had always hidden his emotions broke down on the locker room floor, sobbing uncontrollably. The cameras didn't see a champion. They saw a son, a man finally letting go of everything he'd been holding inside. From brawls to breakdowns, gambling to grief, Jordan showed that even the greatest athlete alive couldn't control every part of himself. Behind the perfection, there was rage, sorrow, and vulnerability, the same emotions that made him human. Because in the end, greatness isn't about never losing control. It's about how you rise after you do. Subscribe and like for more stories that reveal the human behind the legend.